So I'd like to share a short video exploring rebirth in the DruidCraft deck and comparing the meaning to its comparison card, which is Judgement in the Rider-Waite deck. And the clear linking symbol is the horn. We have here an angel. I'm not going to presume which angel, but presumably this is the Day of Judgment. The horn is blown and people awake to heaven on earth. So it is an awakening to a better time in your life. Very often the way I see this card is in life, when we go through difficult times, we compartmentalize ourselves. Maybe we become, a certain way at work. Maybe we have to act a certain way with our parents. Maybe we have to work a slightly different way with our partner. Maybe we've lost a sense of something, a sense of fun or joy or happiness, and you just kind of get used to it. And then very often something happens, and it may not be a big traumatic thing. It may just be an awakening or a realization, and we see the patterns and we kind of like wake up and we move on to the world to live a more contented life. Maybe we change our job, maybe we change our friendship circle, maybe we start doing something we once loved but have forgotten along the way. That sort of a pattern. And basically I see a very similar image with rebirth. Arguably for me, yes, the imagery's changed. We now have a burial tomb, arguably some sort of sacred space. We now have a child instead of the multiple characters on the Rider-Waite deck. But to me, it's the same thing. It's it could be, for example, maybe I've seen this card if I go to examples. Maybe someone working in a job and redundancies going round, and their first thought is fear and horror, and then they go, oh gosh, but if I take that, I could, sell up and run an Airbnb in Spain, or a horse centre, or retrain to be a graphic designer. Or it's that wake up call. It is literally being reborn. I have seen this card mean birth and babies, but I need to see other cards to make sure. And of course, it can be psychological. And not every time you get this card will it be a big life-altering moment. It could be a small thing. It could be, as an example, I've started listening to a meditation tape when I wake up in the morning with a cup of coffee. You know what? And it's made me realise that, I know it sounds ridiculous, I'm a much happier person if I start the day with meditation and a cup of coffee than with the news and a cup of coffee. So, it's that wake up call, that new beginning, that new start. It's bigger than an ace because it's a major arcana. It's bigger than an ace because it's one step away from the world, the last of the major arcana. But to me, it has that similar feel. And particularly, coming back to sort of the more biblical imagery of the Rider-Waite deck, you think about the Ace of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite deck. To me, that represents the Garden of Eden, and that first step, when Adam and Eve sort of became fully manifest human beings on earth, as it were. So very similar meanings. Beautiful card. The only negative side to this card really is if you're not listening. Thinking about the walls of Jericho, I believe they were tumbled by, sound. It's the only time that sound is used as an imagery in the DruidCraft and the Rider-Waite deck. We have light used as image in the moon, the star, we have the lightning in the tower, but now we have sound. Can't close your ears, okay? If you don't pay attention to this card, if it keeps coming and it keeps coming and it keeps coming, then I would suggest do some journaling, maybe book a tarot reading, maybe get your own tarot cards out, maybe do some meditation. It means that depending on your worldview, the universe, your spirit guides, your high guidance, whatever you want to call it, is trying to get a message through to you. My experience is that when you don't listen, the universe just shouts louder. So to me, judgment is always an important card. Like I say, the change may not be life-shattering. It may be the smallest of changes, but it will always lead to something better.